Hey everybody, it's Teresa. Welcome to my channel. I'm going to try to make another bracelet today and put it on this little bangle that I got from Beebeecraft. I have worked all day trying to come up with something to do a video on. Everything I've tried has been a terrible failure. I know I'm always saying that there's not enough hours in the day to do all that I want to do, and there's not. But my problem is I don't write anything down. And when I get time to sit down and work on something, I can't remember what it was I wanted to do. So everything I've tried all day has been a terrible failure. I finally gave up and went to bed, but I couldn't sleep because my tooth hurts. So I got back up. It's 3:25 in the morning here. And I remembered something that a very sweet lady that watches my videos wondered about. She really loves the Russian spiral, and she wondered if the Russian spiral would fit on this bangle and not be too bulky. So I decided to try it and see. There's no way to know unless I try and see. And I've not tried this ahead of time because, like I said, everything I've tried today has been a terrible failure. So I thought if I tried here on camera with you all, maybe some of your all's positive thinking will help me get through this and it'll work. So I've got, these are 3x2mm Chinese crystal rondelle beads. And I know I'm probably, a lot of you are like me. I shy away from the Chinese crystals. I mean, I guess we would all rather have all check glass and gemstones and all that, but you can get some good quality Chinese crystals. You can get some really bad quality Chinese crystals too. You just have to know where to look for them. I got these from Eureka Crystal Beads, and they are good quality. And I'm sure that Eureka is, makes sure that they buy good quality Chinese crystals. They probably have a source that they know is good. And I have ordered from, I think it's called ChineseCrystal.com before, and I've got some really pretty beads from them. So you can get good Chinese crystal beads. You just have to be careful what you're buying. I've also got some Chinese crystal rondelles here, 3x2mm, and these are, I think, bubblegum pink is what these were called. I've used both these in something I did before. I can't remember what it was. These are 2mm fire polish beads, and they're iris blue. And then I'm going to use an 8/0, and this is a Miyuki. It's not just white, it is gilt-lined opal, because I'm feeling fancy today. Okay, I'm not feeling fancy today. I feel bad because my tooth hurts, but I thought if I used a fancy bead, maybe I'd feel fancy. I don't know. I'm sure that won't work, but you know. And then I've got these little 11/0 galvanized silver Miyuki seed beads that I use, and not to worry, that's not all I have. I still have plenty. I buy them in these big 50-gram bags. This is not a full 50-gram bag, but this is what I buy them in. Of course, I got my little bangle here that I got from Beebeecraft, and I'll put that coupon code. I have a coupon code for Beebeecraft. It's Teresa 10, and I'll put it on the screen here and in the description box below in case you want it. It'll save you 10% off your order. I have my crochet hook that I'm going to put up through the center of the Russian spiral to hold it around, to hold it steadier so that y'all can see what I'm doing. I got 2 size 11 beading needles here. I'm only going to use one, but I use the extra one sometimes to add on thread, or I just always have an extra one out in case I lose one, which happens quite often. I've got my 8-pound fire line. I'm using the crystal today. Couldn't decide whether to use the crystal or the smoke, but I've got more light colored beads. These blue beads are dark, but all the rest of the beads are light, so I'm just going to go with the white and see if that works. I've got my chain nose pliers that I flatten my thread so that I can get it through the eye of the needle. And of course, I'm not going to use a clasp, so I'm not going to need any other tools. And I've got my scissors to cut my fire line. And if y'all heard that rattling, it's because I'm pretty sure I've got about every bead I own out here on this desk where I've been trying to come up with something all day, and I've not put them back yet. I think that's everything. Everything that I can find links for, I'll put in the description box below. So I'm going to get some of my beads poured out here, and I'll be back. I've got some of my beads poured out here, and I've got some poured out over here to the side that I'm going to be using, so I don't have to keep reaching across the screen in front of you all. I've got my needle threaded, And I'm only leaving a little bit of a tail like I did the other day, because I'm going to start this with ladder stitch like I did the other day. And by the time I sew through it as many times as I'm going to, and sew it together into a tube and all, I'm going to have sewed through these enough that it's not going to come loose, and that way I can cut my tail off and get it out of the way. I was threading my needle here, and whenever I do these videos, I always shut the door so that my husband's not making noise and distracting me and you all hearing him and stuff. But since it's the middle of the night, actually early in the morning, he's of course in the bed, so I decided not to bother shutting the door because it gets stuffy in here. So I decided not to bother shutting the door, which means Lily has access to this room. And I was trying to thread my needle, and she grabbed the thread and took off with it. I don't know where it ended up. I'm telling you, it's been one of those days. So she's got a big old long piece of fire line somewhere playing with it, I guess. So I'm gonna start this just like I did the other day. I know that I'm gonna start ladder stitch. I'm pick up 4 of my silver 11-0s. And I'm gonna bring them down to my needle. And I'm gonna go up through the first 2. And that puts those 2 11-0s next to 2 11-0s. And now I'm just going to reinforce. I'm going to go down these 2. And back up these 2. And back down these 2. I'm going to pick up 2 more 11-0s, silver 11-0s, and I'm going to ladder stitch them on. I'm coming out the bottom and going on the top. Go up these 2 new ones I added. Go back down these 2. Back up these 2. So I've got 3 sets of 2 11-0s here. I'm going to do this till I have 8, because I know that I need 8 to get around this spangle, because that's what I did the other day. So I'm going to get that done, and then I'll be back. Okay, I've got my 8 columns of beads here, and I'm just going to do like I did the other day. I'm going to fold them together and sew them into a tube. I'm coming out the bottom of these 2 silver 11-0s. I'm going to go on the bottom of these 2. And go back down these 2. And I'm just going to sew these 4 beads. I'm just going to sew around these 4 beads until I get them sewed together real good. Okay, now I'm going to cut my tail off, because it's not, my beads are not going to fall off now. And I'm going to get my crochet hook here and put it on my crochet hook. I put it on the wrong way. Okay. Now, I've never started Russian spiral with ladder stitch before, but I have an idea of how I want to do it. I'm going to pick up one of my bigger beads. I'm going to pick up my pink rondelle. I'm going to go from the top of this column down the top of this column. This is how I started the tubular chenille stitch I did the other day that I put on the bangle, except it was with 11-0s. I put 11-0s instead of these bigger beads, so I hope this works. Now I'm going to go back up this. I'm going to go up this next column. And now I'm going to pick up one of my blue rondelles, one of my light blue rondelles. I'm going to go from the top of this column down this next column. Now I'm going to go up the next column and line here. And I'm going to pick up one of my 8/0s. And I'm going to go down the next column. And I'm going to go up the next column. I'm going to pick up one of my 2mm fire polish beads. I'm going to go down the next column. And now I'm going to go up this column that's next, and that's the one I started in. Now I'm going to go through this pink bead. And I'm going to pick up two 11/0s, two silver 11/0s. I'm going to go from this pink bead to this blue bead. I'm going to pick up two more silver 11/0s. Go from this blue bead to my 8/0. I'm going to pick up two more silver 11/0s. Go from this 8/0 to my 2mm fire polish bead. Now I'm going to pick up two more 11/0s. And go from this fire polish bead into this pink bead. And while I'm at it, I'm going to go up through that 11/0 behind it. So this is how we start Russian spiral. We start with our big beads separated by two 11/0s, and we start by coming out between two of the 11/0s. So I'm just going to look and see what my next big bead is, which is the blue rondelle. I'm going to pick up a blue rondelle, two 11/0s, and I'm going to go in that 11/0 on the other side of that blue rondelle. Hold my beads and pull my thread through. Don't get wrapped around my crochet hook. Now my next big bead is an 8/0, so I'm going to pick up an 8/0, two 11/0s, and I'm going to go into the 11/0 on the other side of that 8/0. Hold my beads and pull my thread through. Now my next big bead is a 2mm fire polish. So I'm going to pick up a 2mm fire polish, two 11/0s, and I'm going to go into the 11/0 on the other side of that 2mm fire polish. Now my next bead is this pink rondelle. So I'm going to pick up a pink rondelle, two 11/0s, and I'm back around to the beginning. So this is my step up. So I'm going to go in this 11/0 on the other side of this pink rondelle, up into the next bead, which is the blue bead, and if I can, out the 11/0 on the other side of that blue bead. Pull this tight and push it all up here into a tube. Now, if you need to lay your beads out so that you know where your step up is, you know that you're going to, in my case, I'm going to be putting one of each of these 4 big beads around every time. I often have to lay my beads out so that I can see where my step up is. So my next big bead is an 8-0. So I'm going to pick up an 8-0, 2 11-0s. I'm going to go into the 11-0 on the other side of the 8-0. And my next big bead is a 2mm fire polish. So I'm going to pick up a 2mm fire polish. Two 11-0s. I'm going to go into the 11-0 on the other side of the 2mm fire polish. Hold my beads and pull my thread through. I'm going to turn it around. My next big bead is my pink rondelle, so I'm going to pick up a pink rondelle, 2 11-0s. I'm going to go into that 11-0 on the other side of that pink rondelle. And my next big bead is my blue rondelle, and I'm back around here to the beginning, so I'm going to pick up a blue rondelle, 2 11-0s, and I'm going to go into the 11-0 on the other side of the blue rondelle, up the next bead, which is the white 8-0, and out the 11-0 on the other side of that 8-0. Hold my beads and pull my thread through. I'm going to just turn it around here. My next big bead is a 2mm fire polish. So I'm going to pick up a 2mm fire polish, 2 11-0s. And I'm going to go into the 11-0 on the other side of that fire polish. Now my next bead in line is a pink rondelle. So I'm going to pick up a pink rondelle, 2 11-0s. I'm going to go into the 11-0 on the other side of the pink rondelle. And my next bead in line is a blue rondelle. So I'm going to pick up a blue rondelle, 2 11-0s. I'm going to go into the 11-0 on the other side of that blue rondelle. And my next bead in line is a white 8-0, so I'm going to pick up an 8-0, 2 11-0s. I'm back around here to the beginning, so I'm going to go into the 11-0 on the other side of the 8-0, the next big bead, which is the 2mm fire polish, and the 11-0 on the other side of it. Pull my thread through. Now, my next bead in line is a pink rondelle, so I'm going to pick up a pink rondelle, 2 11-0s. I'm going to go into the 11-0 on the other side of that pink rondelle. I hold my thumb on my beads because it helps keep them from getting loose. I'm going to spin it around. My next bead is my blue rondelle, so I'm going to pick up a blue rondelle, 2 11-0s. Go into the 11-0 on the other side of that blue rondelle. And my next bead is an 8-0, so I'm going to pick up an 8-0, 2 11-0s. Go into the 11-0 on the other side of that 8-0. Now my next bead is a 2mm fire polish. I'm going to pick up a 2mm fire polish, 2 11-ohs, I'm back around here to the beginning, so I'm going to go into this 11-oh on the other side of the fire polish, the next big bead, which is the pink rondelle, and the 11-oh on the other side of that pink rondelle. That's my step up. Now before I do very much more of this, I'm going to take it off and put it on this bangle and see if it's going to work. Yeah, I think that'll be fine. Good idea that lady had. So I'm just going to keep doing this until I get the length that I need. And of course I'm going to, when I get to the other end, I'm going to make this same ladder stitch at the other end. I don't know how I'm going to do that yet, but I'll figure it out. And but when I get to the end, before I get ready, before I do this, I'll come back and show you how I'm going to do that. So I'll be back. Okay, I think I've got the length now that I need to go on my bangle. It's funny, the tubular chenille stitch that I did the other day, I just slid a little bit over 6 inches of beading and it went on the bangle. I've got 7 inches here. I don't know, I think it's got something to do with the fact that this one expands and contracts, maybe. I don't know. But I've coming out of my step up here. And I'm going to try to figure out how to get this ladder stitch on this end like I've got on the first end. So I'm coming out of this 11-oh where I stepped up. I want to be coming out one of my big beads. So I'm going to go down into this 11-oh and into this one and up into this fire polish bead. And I'm going to take 2 of my 11-ohs and I'm going to go back around that fire polish bead. I'm going to go in the other side of it. And now I'm going to reinforce this. So I'm going to go up this silver bead, back down this silver bead, and back through my fire polish bead. Now I'm going to go through these 2 11-ohs. I want to get over here to my other big bead. I'm going to go through these 2 11-ohs and through that pink rondelle. Apparently not all at once. Okay, now I'm going to pick up 2 more silver 11-ohs. I'm going to go back around this rondelle bead. I'm going to go from the top back into the bottom here. Just circle around that bead. Now I'm going to reinforce this. So I'm going to go up this 11-oh on the left here. I'll have to come at it another way here. And back down this 11-oh. And back across my pink rondelle. Now I need to get over here to this blue bead, so I'm going to go through these 2 11-ohs and through the blue bead. pick up 2 silver 11-ohs, go from the top of this bead into the bottom, just circle around that bead. Now I'm going to reinforce this. I'm going to go up this bead, go back down this bead, then go across this blue rondelle again. Now I need to make my way over here to my white 8-oh, so I'm going to go through these 2 11-ohs and the white 8-oh. Pick up 2 my silver 11-ohs, circle back around that 8-oh. Now I'm going to reinforce it. I'm going to go back up this 11-oh, back down this 11-oh, back across my 8-oh. Now I've got 2 little beads on top of each one of my big beads. So now I need to come back up through this 11-oh to get up here to make the rest of my ladder stitch. So now I'm going to pick up 2 11-ohs, go down this from the top of this 11-oh to the top of this 11-oh. Make my beads sit with their holes facing up. I'm going to reinforce. I'm going to go through this 8-oh again. Back up these 2 11-ohs. Back down these 2 11-ohs. Back through this 8-oh. I think I went through that 8-oh and didn't need to. I'm going to go back up through these again. I think I need to be coming out the bottom of one of these little towers here. Now I'm going to go over here to my next big bead and find the 2 11-ohs that I sewed on top of it. I'm going to go up this one. I'm going to pick up 2 more 11-ohs. I'm going to go from the top of this 11-oh to down the top of this 11-oh. Make my beads sit with their holes sitting up. I'm going to go back through my blue bead. Back up these 2 silver 11-ohs. Down these 2 silver 11-ohs. And I'm going to come over here and find the 2 11-ohs I put on the top of this big bead and go up this one on the left. I'm going to pick up 2 more 11-ohs. Go from the top of this 11-oh to the top of this, down the top of this 11-oh. Go back through my pink rondelle. Back up these 2 11-ohs. Back down these two 11 O's. I'm going to come over here and find the two 11 O's I put on top of this fire polish bead and go up this left one. I'm going to pick up two more 11 O's. Go from the top of this 11 O down into this 11 O. Make my beads set with their holes facing up. I'm going to go back through my fire polish bead. Back up these two 11 O's on the left. Back down these two 11 O's on the right. And that puts four little towers at the top there. I just need to sew them together now. So I'm going to go back through my fire polish bead. Back up these two 11 O's. And now I'm going to sew this tower to this tower. I'll go from the top of these two 11 O's down the top of these two 11 O's. And then back up the first two. Back down these two. Now I'm going to go through my pink bead. Go up these two 11 O's. I'm going to sew this tower to this tower. So I'm going to go from this column to this column. Go down these two beads. Come over here and go back up the two I started in. And then go back down these two. I'm going to go back through my blue bead. Go up these two 11 O's. I want to sew this tower to this tower, so I'm going to go from these two 11 O's down these two 11 O's. Back over and back up these two 11 O's. Back down these two 11 O's. Now I've got them all sewed together except those two towers there. So I'm going to go through my 8O here. Go up these two silver 11 O's. I'm going to sew these last two towers together. So I'm going to go from this column up to these two, go down through these two. I'm going to go over and go back up these two that I started in. And then go back down these two. So now I have all my little ends sewed together. And both my ends look the same. So now I'm just going to go down through here and end my thread off, tie some half-inch knots. Just going to sew through a few beads. Find a thread bridge here. Go through my loop. Pull my thread down slowly. Go through a few more beads. Find another thread bridge, go through my loop, pull my thread down slowly, go through a few more beads, get another thread bridge here. Go through my loop, pull my thread down slowly, go through a few more beads. And now I'm going to cut off. So now let's see if I can get this on my bangle here. There we go. Got it on my bangle. Let me get some of my beads cleaned up here and I'll be back. Okay, there we go. A Russian spiral on one of the little bangles I got from Beebeecraft. I'm just thrilled that I finally got something accomplished today. Well, it's not today anymore. It's tomorrow now. But I'm going to count it as a win. I appreciate the lady who gave me the idea for this. She didn't ask me to do this. She just was talking about she wondered if it would work. And since I couldn't figure out anything else to do today, I thought I'd give it a try, and it works. I hope y'all have enjoyed this video. As always, thank you so much for joining me today. I really appreciate those of you who have subscribed to my channel and watched my videos and liked and commented on my videos. I have a website where I sell my jewelry. It's Teresa's Handmade Jewelry, and I'll put a link to it in the description box below in case you're interested, along with a link to my Facebook and Instagram and my email. If you haven't, I'd really love it if you'd subscribe and hit the notification bell so you're notified when I upload a new video. So until next time, I hope y'all have a great day. Take care.